Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. Sorry about the problem. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Please let me know. Give me a quick update. Yes or no in the chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Such a pain in the butt. I don't know. I had my Bose thing connected, and then I just sometimes things never go your way. Can you guys hear me? Please type in the chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yo, 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 it's working. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for being patient, by the way. Freaking ridiculous. At least everybody's back on. Thank you guys. Pito, Pepe, Sean, Mustafa, Arnold. Thank you guys for letting me know that we are live. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Unbelievable, dude. Like I didn't know we were streaming from this thing. I turned it off and it just never connected. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some quick Q&A. I mean, I held you guys up for over 35 minutes already. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead. What's up, Kent? Um, I don't want to do this again, but if you're VIP, type in the chat, VIP member. Maybe we could do another shout out, where you're coming in from, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Jason, if this wasn't live, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Tony, recommendation, black car. What clear brand? I would go with House of Color if you can get it in your country. I believe you are in Puerto Rico, I think. If you can't, I highly recommend PPG Deltron Clearcoat's really good, and even some DuPont Clearcoats are really good as well. So hopefully that makes sense to you and you heard me this time and I'm not talking to myself and doing sign language. Oh, God. VIP. All right. We got VIPs in the house, back here in the house. Awesome. Awesome. Who is, well, we only got 13 people. We lost a lot of people on the call because we had links sent out. And yeah, PPG 6700, I believe, is a good clear coat. Is that the high solids or which one is that? I forgot what number that was. I've been using a lot of House of Color PPG. Shopline has a really good clear coat as well. It's a cheaper brand, so you might want to look into that if you want to save some money. But yeah. So what's up, Kent Genesis, VIP North Idaho? Hope everyone's holding out pretty well with this ongoing quarantine of coronavirus. I mean, it's been how long now? 7 weeks, I believe. We're gonna lose count. I think they're just screwing with the public now. Now they're just taking it too far, and it's just too much control. I think this is just bad news for everybody. The economy, bad news. I think more people are dying from the from the quarantine, from people losing their jobs, than the virus. Anyway, guys, let's do some quick auto body Q&A. All right. What do you recommend for beginner DIY as far as paint? Start with the Shopline products. Shopline makes very good products. You can get cheaper base coats from Omni. It's a cheaper brand of PPG. Anyone pro Trump here? Well, you know what? I liked Trump in the beginning, but I don't know, man. It's just, I think all presidents are controlled. I think they're all just puppets from the puppet masters anyway. It doesn't matter who's president. Speaking of House of Color, I look for 2K primer seams. They list epoxy primers. Is all their epoxy primers just meant to be used for all-around primer without having to use 2K? Yes. Yes, and also you don't have to use a House of Color 2K primer. You can use a cheaper brand, and I usually go cheaper with primers because it doesn't have to be top of the line. Spending all your cash on primer. I usually use an Advantage 2K filler primer. It's a cheaper brand called Advantage. And also PPG makes a cheaper 2K primer. I forgot the numbers of it, but they what was the name of it? I forgot the number of the PPG, but there's this cheaper PPG brand of primer that you can get as well, a 2K primer. Got reconnected. VIP Grand Prairie. Awesome, guys. Question from Sean. I clear coated my headlights and seen some tiny cracks in the clear. Can I sand with 2500 and compound and polish, or leave it just so? It's up to you. Yes, you can absolutely sand and buff it, but I don't know. I mean, you might just want to re-clear it. I don't know why you're getting cracks in it. Maybe the cracks were from the plastic lens itself. Because sometimes when plastic lenses, when they get old, you'll get cracks in the plastic, and you're not going to be able to cure that with clear coating it, um, or cutting and buffing. It could be because it's in the headlight itself. Let's have a good time, not talk about religion and politics. I agree. I'd rather have him than Sleepy Joe. Tony, what's the difference between clear coat and intercoat? Portland, Texas. Okay, so clear coat is the clear that goes on top of your base coat. Intercoat, think of it as a clear base coat. Okay, so a base coat is any base coat paint that you paint, right? It's part of a two-stage system. So you lay your base coat and then your clear coat on top of it to give it that gloss and to protect it, right? The inner coat goes in between, where you can add pearls and flake if you want to, or even a tint. Okay. Most times when you hear of a three-stage paint, there's a clear coat, there's a inner coat in between. And DBC 500 from PPG is what I normally use. It's a clear base coat. So you just mix it up like a clear base coat. You could put pearl in it, you could put flake in it, you can go over your colored base coat, okay, to give it a desired pearl effect, or put some flake in it. And it's recommended to use an inner coat like that because you have more leeway and less chance of mess up. Because it's really harder to run base coat. Like, I never run base coat, but some newbies, they run base coat. And if you do run base coat, it's okay because you can let it dry, in 20, 30 minutes it's dry. You can wet sand it flat, and then you can coat more base coat on top of it to get it nice looking. And then you can lay your clear coat on top of it. So it's more forgiving. You can always mix pearl and flake in your clear coat, which I normally do. But then you got to be careful that you don't run the clear coat or sag it, because if you do run or sag it, you're going to end up with that pearl drip or that flake drip in your clear coat. So it's more for professionals or people who really know how to lay down clear coat without getting runs to do that and lay pearl or flake in your clear coats. So hopefully that makes sense. So just think of intercoat as a clear base coat, translucent base coat. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, guys. I know you guys been watching my recent PowerPoint videos. Did you guys like those? The PowerPoint on how to make money, painting cars for profit, and the other one like what base coat, clear coat, all around. Like, do you guys like that? I plan on making more like that for you. Maybe releasing one a week, a new PowerPoint style, because, like I said, right now I don't have a shop. Like I'm looking for a space to do body work, and that's the only kind of content I could really put out at this moment. I do have some tank projects that I did that's on my hard drive that I need to release. So I'll be putting some cool projects out that I did kind of like a few months ago. But I will put out like more like keynote PowerPoint presentations. I have a lot of topics. So if you guys have any ideas on what you would like to see, type them down in the chat now, or send an email to tony@learnautobodyandpaint.com, so my team can take note of that. Or if I'm checking the emails, I can take note of that, just for ideas. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So yeah, videos are good. More PowerPoints, great. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So Jason says, Sean says, question, I'm painting my car on Saturday with a two-stage white and clear. How soon can I sand clear to cut and buff? Normally it depends on what kind of clear you're using. They have speed clears that you can cut and buff the day after. But normally, if you're using any kind of regular clear coat, like a House of Color clear coat, or any off the market 2K clear coat, you can usually cut and buff a day after. But I don't like to because I like to let my clear coat kind of get cured and harden a little bit. I like to give it some time. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're working in the shop, you don't have time. They got to get the jobs in and out. So they just, cut and buff the day or two after. But if you could wait a week or two, it's even better to wait before you cut and buff it. Like when I'm doing my own custom jobs, I like to let it sit for 2, 3 weeks, sometimes even a month. Just let it cure and then cut and buff it. You know what I mean? That mean because you're literally, if you're holding on to a project, like you say you clear coated your car and you're holding on to it. What I mean by holding on to it is it's sitting in your garage. Okay, it's not a customer job. It's not going out. Okay, you're near it. You're by it. You'll literally smell the clear coat evaporating off your car. You'll smell it cure for probably 2 weeks. You'll have that clear coat smell from your car. That means if you still smell it like that, that means it's still curing. It's still drying. It's still evaporating. It's still, becoming a solid on your paint. So that means that, hey, let it cure. So I like to usually wait at least a minimal of 2 weeks. More, even better if you wait about a month before you cut and buff. So hopefully that makes sense. Does this make sense, guys? And you'll notice that, you still smell it. But again, if it's a customer job or if it's a job that you just really need to get out and you have a little bit of orange peel or something, you got to cut and buff it, you could absolutely do it, right? All right, so hopefully that helps. Somebody from Guadalajara, Mexico. Tony, what about if I use cheap base coat and high quality clear coat? You can absolutely do that. And that's actually kind of what I do on a lot of my jobs. I don't use the super crap stuff, but I'll go with a cheaper base coat like Omni Plus for a base coat. It's a really good base coat in my opinion. And it's a little cheaper, inexpensive than going full out on a Deltron, PPG Deltron or a DuPont chroma base, type of thing, or even a house base coat. They get expensive then, you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a gallon, or even $100, 120, $150 a quart, So you could absolutely put a cheaper base coat and then put a high-end clear coat on top of it. That's pretty much what I do. I like to always finish off with a high-end clear coat. Been waiting for those tank projects. So yeah, I'll release Arnold. I think you're VIP. We got tank projects in VIP, but I do have some footage that I want to release on YouTube, which I will be doing in the coming weeks. Greetings from Omen. Hope you're fine in these situations. For the clear coat, how many layers can I put on top of the base coat, and is there a method for it? Sun here is brutal on the car paint. So I would put anywhere from 2 to 3 medium to heavy coats, like going around the car. Some people put a tack coat on their car, a clear first, and then go around 2 medium heavy coats, or you could just go around 2 medium heavy coats. That's like pretty much the normal, clear coat. I go around the car 2 medium heavy coats. So like I won't tack the first time around. I'll just start spraying like I'm laying it on, medium wet, like getting it glossy on the first coat. I'll let that flash. By the time you're finished going around the car, you wait about 10, 15 minutes, boom, you're ready for the next coat and you're done. All right. And you can always put more coats of clear on it if you want to, give it 2 weeks, let that cure, 800 the whole thing down with 800 grit, and then put 2 more coats of clear coat if you want. This way you'll have some thick clear coat on there, especially if you're doing a candy paint job or whatever. 4 coats of clear coat is really ideal. Okay, let's see. Mustafa, is it the same with runs, Tony? Yes, pretty much. Jason Chang, so I painted my 90 Civic earlier this month and I wet sanded with 2000 grit and buffed it with Maguire's compound. There are lots of swirls, so what should I do? So if you have swirl marks, it means you didn't buff enough, or you didn't glaze final polish buff with the foam pad with a swirl mark remover. Okay, so if you buffed it out and your job still looks a little hazy with swirl marks, it means you can use more compound. Spend more time on your panels to heat it up, to use the compound with the wool pad. spend more time on your 1x2 section, and then, that's all it is. And then once, because it should look fairly glossy, fairly glossy, um, with your wool pad, your compound stage done. Okay. Then with the foam pad, you should really get that gloss out and remove the swirl marks and whatnot. So hopefully this makes sense. Yeah, the longer the better. So awesome. So somebody says good looking guy there. I hope. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What do you think about using chip guard spray on rocker panel versus using the clear protective tape? I think either or, whatever you want to do. I think a protective tape might be easier because you could just put it on where you want, and just kind of finish it off that way. It's up to you. We'd love to see you do a traditional candy over silver in VIP. I actually did, and it was the mower project, the candy mower project. So we had a silver, and then we did some black graphics, and then we did candy on top of it. And that's why it was so bright. But possibly in the future, I will be doing a candy over silver here in Japan. I just got to find out where I can get these products. But I have a 2016 or 17 N box that I bought for my wife here, a little K car, and it's silver. So it's a perfect base coat for me to put candy over. So what I would do is probably sand that sucker down, get a quart of base coat, fresh silver, just coat it, give the whole thing a nice fresh coat of base, and then lay my clear coat on top of it. Or maybe even make a two-tone clear candy, maybe like candy the top half or the bottom half, just do something. I don't know, but I'm thinking I want to do something custom with my wife's N box. Well, it's my car too. So yeah, we're just looking for a space here to do body work and, possibly open things up here in Japan, and also bring me some cool cars from Japan, some the car scene. So I'm actually hooking up with one of my followers here. He's a Japanese dude, and I think I might have mentioned him, but he does body and paint here in Japan. He lives near here, and he wants to do things with me. So hopefully, if things progress, we'll be doing some YouTube stuff together, showing body work, him banging out some jobs here in Japan, me doing some stuff, and it's going to be cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Arnold is VIP. All right, awesome. Can I use electric paint sprayer when painting my car? I see people use it. I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to test it out, test it. I haven't had the time to even get into it and testing with an electric. To me, it just sounds terrifying. Like electric, I'm so used to having air and using a pneumatic traditional spray gun. Like I just don't even want to mess with it. But I think maybe in the future, we'll see. Get the shop set up. I'll play around with an electric sprayer. But it just doesn't sound right to me. Arnold says when sanding primer on fiberglass, what grit do you recommend before base coat? When sanding primer on fiberglass, what grit do you recommend before base coat? I would say the traditional 400 grit, Arnold. I mean, I've sprayed many countless fiberglass body kits and fiberglass parts and plastic parts, and I finish everything with 400 grit. And when you use the 400 grit, it becomes used and worn out, and it actually becomes more like a 500 grit, 600. So anywhere from 400 to 600 grit. I never finish with a clean 400 sandpaper. It's always kind of like a used. But as long as your panels look really like matte when dried, like if you get your squeegee and you go across your panel and you like wipe it, and if it has that matte flat look with no texture on it, this is my stocks. I'm studying stocks. I'm taking a shorting course, and I made $6,000 shorting stocks in the last month. Pretty good to me. Pretty good to me, guys. I'm happy about that. Like I'm stoked about that in a down market. So that's what I do. I continuously try to educate myself. I got my Bitcoin notepad. I got my stocks notepad. and you know, I take notes, and that's what I do. Anyway, new VIP from Ontario. Love the videos and info. Very helpful. Awesome. Mr. 420. What's up? What's up? Shout out to new VIP member. Give a quick like, guys. Give a quick like. What sandpaper to use when blending paint? So when you're blending into Clearcoat, I like to have my panel sanded down for about, at about 1,000 grit. Okay, so if you're blending clear into Clearcoat, okay, and then you'd want to kind of wash that with 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, and then buff it together. But I really don't like blending Clearcoat unless you have to on like a roof rail or something, you know, or a narrow quarter panel roof rail. Sometimes you just got to do it because it's a job, but it can be done. And you know, if you're not, the customer usually will never notice, but you, because you did the job, you will probably kind of notice a little bit where you did the blend. But that's why, you know, what you have to do pretty much is, blending is more of tricking the eye. You know, you got to just blend it so they can't see it. You know, you might be able to see a little bit, but that's just how it is, you know. Yeah, even the tank lamp shade candy projects came out awesome. Yeah, they really came out really nice. Are you going to come back to the US? Well, I would like to. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? I mean, I don't know. I would like to. I mean, I have a home in Texas and a home in Hawaii. You know, I got 2 properties. And I'm like here in Japan right now, and I'm looking for another piece of property here, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Hopefully, guys, I'm helping you out here. I'm sorry I was late. Shit happened. If the car is primed, how to spray candy? Do I need 2 different colors? If the car is primed, how to spray candy? So, Charlie, you basically got to put a base coat on your car and then put candy on top of it. I recommend if you are a newbie, then you would want to put a candy close to your base color. So if you're thinking of doing like a brandy wine candy or a red candy apple red candy, I would recommend I would really recommend candying over a red base coat. Okay? If you are a professional and if you feel confident, then candy you get the most visual appearance, visual eye candy, visual jizz, you know, when you spray candy over silver. Okay? And you can go over bright silvers, medium silvers, darker silvers, charcoal you can test out if you want, which is going to be very dark, by the way. I wouldn't really recommend testing out charcoal. I did it once. You really can't really see the candy effect that much. But anywhere from a light, metallic, brilliant, micro sequence silver to a more bigger silver, you could do that. All right. You can spray candy over that. And then you just have to be careful with your 50-50 overlay. So, yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully this is helping. I just got news that Zoolaa is about 60 days out from shipping out the brand new X88 spray gun. And I wanted to share a link with you guys with that because you have a very good discount. It's going to be priced higher than the retail price here. It's going to be priced higher than this price that you see here. But the thing is it's coming with a double tip combo. It's more of a base coat and clear coat spray gun, not really recommended for. All right, I'm just going to drop one link there if you guys are interested in the X88 Infinity spray gun. That is this model right here. It comes with 2 tip sizes, so it's coming with the 1 standard and the 1.3 in the box. So just the tip kit alone is like a $90 value extra. You're getting a gun bud ultra lighting system, and you're getting the whole thing for the special pricing on the link that I just sent you. So if you're interested, you want to pre-order it. It doesn't ship out for about 2 months, around the first week of July. So it's up to you. No push. I'm just dropping the link because I just got the notification yesterday. But remember, it comes with 2 tip sizes. It's more of a base coat, clear coat only spray gun. I would not recommend it as a primer gun. Okay, if you want to get a primer, I would go with the Atom X20 or something. It's a cheaper, more affordable DIY gun. All right, enough of that. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let's take a couple more questions, guys, and we'll call it a day. And I'm so sorry. I'll see you guys on Sunday night for the next training, and I will make sure I don't mess up on the timing. You know, I bumped into somebody outside. I went to go throw the garbage out. I bumped into somebody that I didn't see in a while, and we started talking. All right. Any last questions, guys, before we head out? Any last questions? Hail damage repair. I don't know, like, what you're asking. Like, what are you asking? Like, any advice? Hail damage is a real pain in the butt, by the way. Sometimes it's easier to just buy a new hood or trunk lid if it's that bad. Yes, I'm going to do a lot more PowerPoint presentation. If you guys have any recommendations, put them down here on what you would like to see or what you would like kind of cleared out for you. And I would definitely consider creating a PowerPoint presentation for something. So I plan to release, I have a bunch of them written down here on in my book. So I got a bunch kind of like mapped out that I want to make for you guys. If you guys have any more ideas, let me know. Oh, Jack, I seen your pictures, Jack. He sent in, you know what, Jack? I might even make a video on your project alone. Like, I might do a keynote. Can I do a keynote with your project, Jack? Showing some before and after pictures of what you did with your Model A. I have your pictures here actually on my computer, and I wanted to do something. I was thinking of kind of like putting a presentation together of kind of what you did and just putting it on YouTube for people to see. If that's okay with you, Jack. And if you want to email me kind of like details on what you did, I know you asked me a question. I got to reply back. But yeah, you can just cut that. You could just block sand that whole 2K primed out project with 400 grit. Take your time, block sand it. And I would use dolphin glaze as your glaze to fill any scratches or imperfections after you block it out. And then I would absolutely use another coat of 2K primer to go over that, because it looks like it's a really good project that you want to do everything right, you know. So I would definitely put a 2K primer over that. I wouldn't go short, you know, and do a 1K like I do on some of my jobs. I would put a good 2K primer. What I would also do, what you might want to do, Jack, is just pick up a can of Spray Max 2K primer. This way it's easier. You don't have to go doing your gun, and you don't have to cleaning. You just get the whole thing done, do all of your glaze work, cut all of your glaze down with 400 grit again, and then get a can of Spray Max. I'm sure you probably only need 1 can, and then go over your whole car, just covering the glaze with that 2K Spray Max, and then let that dry for about a day. Just let it dry. The next day, hit it with 400 grit. Just make sure you don't cut through again, and then you're ready for paint. All right, guys. So hopefully that helps. Jack Callis, email me some more info on what you did. I'll create a PowerPoint presentation of what you did, what spray gun you used, and then maybe we could just continue with your project as you complete it to a full paint job. I would love to promote you to the world and show the world what you did with your project. Anyway, guys, I will be on in the next couple of days. Wallace Atkins, I have a 2007 car that needs clear coat and base. I'm only priming good trunk and top. Clear coat is faded. The rest of the paint looks good. Can I prime those areas first, then sand the rest of the car? Yes, absolutely. But you need to make sure that you feather out and sand the faded I'm guessing you're doing the trunk and top because it's faded. So you want to make sure you sand that with at least a 320 grit, okay, sandpaper, and then that stinks, and then prime it. Okay, then you could do the rest of the car and then water sand everything and blah blah blah. All right. Hopefully this helps, guys. I have to head out right now. Let's see. Somebody just asked a question. What's up? What is it? Anyway, it's Tony here from learnautobodyandpaint.com. For any of you newbies who want to get a free, I got out here. Hey, we'll give away something big.